Throw away because my main has identifiable stuff. Also, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I just want to know if I'm overreacting or if I'm living next to the world's creepiest Hallmark character. I moved into a small rental house 2 weeks ago. It's one of those older places that's been updated in the landlord's special way. Gray paint, newer floors, and a kitchen faucet that looks expensive but definitely came from Amazon. It's not a bad place. Quiet street, mostly older couples. I liked it because it felt boring. I wanted boring. The problem is my neighbor. Let's call him Nate. Mid-30s maybe. Friendly in a way that seems practiced. Like he's done this friendly neighbor. Routine enough times that it has muscle memory. The first time I met him was the exact moment. I pulled into the driveway with a car full of boxes. I hadn't even shut the engine off yet when he was already walking over, smiling, waving like we'd been best friends in a past life. "Hey, welcome." "You're finally here," he said, like he'd been waiting. "Finally here. Not welcome. Not moving in, finally." I laughed it off because people say weird stuff. And he had that energy like he was trying to be the kind of neighbor you see in a movie where the new person doesn't know the trash schedule, and the neighbor appears with a helpful pamphlet and a casserole. He handed me a printed sheet, I'm not joking, like an actual paper packet. Trash pickup days, where the mailbox key usually is, which porch lights are motion sensor and which aren't. If you hear raccoons, don't panic. And a list of local handymen. It was thoughtful, slightly unhinged, but thoughtful. Then he said, "Your landlord didn't tell you about the back gate, did he?" I paused, because there is a back gate. I hadn't noticed it yet. But Nate already knew my landlord wouldn't mention it. I asked him how he knew. He shrugged like it was obvious. He never does. That was the first time I got the little prickle on the back of my neck. Still, I told myself, okay, it's a small town vibe. People talk. Maybe he's just intense. That night, I ordered takeout because I was too tired to cook. When I opened the door to grab the bag, there was a small welcome gift sitting on my mat. 2 bottled waters, a granola bar, a mini flashlight, and a note, just in case your first night gets noisy. Nate, next door. Again, thoughtful. Also, weird wording, just in case your first night gets noisy. Not in case you need anything. Not welcome, noisy. I didn't sleep much anyway because the house makes old house noises, pipes, floor creaks, wind, the usual. The next morning, I stepped outside with coffee and there he was, Nate, like he'd been waiting for me, to emerge like a groundhog. "Did you hear it?" he asked. "What?" He pointed up at my porch light. "The flicker. It does that sometimes. Usually around 2-ish. I blinked at him. I didn't notice my porch light flickering. He smiled like I'd said something funny. "You will." Then he leaned closer and said casually, like he was telling me a weather forecast, "Also, your car doors were unlocked last night." I laughed again, because that's what you do when someone says something that makes no sense. "How would you know that?" I asked. He shrugged. "Neighborhood watch." "Did you try my door handle?" His smile didn't move, but his eyes did. Like his brain had to choose the correct answer quickly. "No, I just noticed." "Noticed? From where? From inside my car? From the street? From a security camera feed? How do you notice a door is unlocked unless you check?" I said, "Okay." He nodded, still smiling. "It's fine. Just lock it." People are weird. That was the moment I realized he talks like he's giving advice, but he's also collecting information. Like he's building a file on me. Later that afternoon, I got a delivery notification for an Amazon package. I was expecting it, some boring household stuff. The photo showed the box sitting on my porch, right by the mat. I opened my door immediately. No box. I stood there like an idiot, looking left and right like the package might be hiding behind a plant. Then I heard Nate's door open. "Hey," he called. "You missing something?" I turned and he was walking over, holding my box like it was a newborn baby. "I found it in the bushes," he said. "Porch pirates, you know? They'll snatch it and toss it if it's not worth anything." "It was in the bushes?" I repeated. "Yeah," he said, nodding. "I saw it and grabbed it for you." I looked at the box. The tape had been cut. Not ripped, not torn. Cut clean like someone used a blade. Then it had been retaped, slightly crooked, with different tape than Amazon uses. I stared at it too long because he said, "Everything okay?" I didn't know what to say. If I accused him and he's just overly helpful, I look paranoid. If I say nothing and he's not just overly helpful, then I'm an idiot. So I said, thanks. Appreciate it. He smiled like he'd passed a test. Then he added, if you want, I can hold packages for you when you're at work. I'm home a lot. I didn't tell him where I work. I didn't tell him my hours. I didn't tell him anything besides my first name. So I said, oh, my schedule's kind of unpredictable. He nodded immediately. Yeah, you got back late yesterday. I froze. What? He lifted both hands like he hadn't said anything alarming. The moving truck. It pulled in after dark. I remember because the streetlight was acting up. He said it like it was nothing. Like it's normal to sit by your window monitoring a new tenant's arrival time. I laughed, again stupidly, and went inside. I checked the box contents. Everything was technically there. But the fact that someone opened it, looked inside, then retaped it, made my skin crawl. That night, I called my friend and told her I was getting weird vibes. She said, get a camera. So I did. I ordered a cheap doorbell camera that could be installed without wiring. It arrived 2 days later, hand-delivered by me, from the package locker, because no way was I letting it sit outside. I put it up. I didn't tell anyone. The next morning, Nate came outside at the same time as me again, like he has a sixth sense for my door opening. He looked up at the new camera and grinned. Nice, he said. My stomach dropped. How did you... He tapped his temple. I noticed things. Then he leaned in and lowered his voice. You should have gotten one sooner. My brain did this delayed processing thing, where it took a full second for the sentence to become words. Why? I asked. He stared at my front door like he was thinking about something behind it. Then he smiled again, too bright. Just good idea. That's all. I went back inside and locked the door. That night, I got my first motion alert. 2:14 a.m., motion detected. I grabbed my phone so fast I almost dropped it. The clip loaded. It was Nate. On my porch. Not stealing. Not checking the mailbox. Not holding a package. Just standing there. His head tilted slightly like he was listening. Then he lifted one hand and pointed upward. Up toward the roofline. Up toward the attic area. He stood there for a long time. So long I thought the clip had frozen. Then he leaned close to my door, like he was going to whisper something through it. But the audio didn't pick up anything except a faint scratchy sound, like something dragging. Inside the house. I sat up in bed with every light on, heart beating like it was trying to escape my ribs. I replayed the clip 3 times. Then my phone buzzed. A text. From Nate. I didn't give him my number. He must have gotten it from the landlord packet, the lease paperwork, something. The message said, do not open the attic hatch. Seriously, if you see it moved, call me. Don't go up there. I stared at it until my eyes burned. Because I hadn't mentioned an attic hatch to anyone. And I hadn't even looked for one yet. And now I'm sitting in my bed at 2:22 a.m. writing this. Trying to decide if I call the police, the landlord, or a priest. So, am I overreacting? Edit. Yes, I've locked everything. Yes, I'm staying at a friend's tomorrow if I can't sleep. Edit 2. I'm not opening the attic. Please stop telling me to just check. Absolutely not.